What's going on, guys? Welcome to pregame. I just made it to Carver Hawkeye Arena. I swore I'd never come back here, but they suck me back in every 2 years. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Channel Seed for tip-off, which will happen here in about 23 minutes from now. Thanks to my buddies over at Channel Seed. They are a phenomenal group of dudes who I'm lucky to call friend. So remember them, all you farmers out there. Getting to be that time of year. Man, it's going to be planting season before you know it. You know I know it's planting season. It's because that's right around when the Sweet 16 is, and we fully anticipate Iowa State to be back there in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, right? But we got a lot going on tonight. Also want to thank our friends at Keen Project Solutions. Remember, they are hiring engineers and project managers who want to do more than just work. Think different. Think Keen.com. They want to be a difference and a part of a team. Values dedication turns your expertise into impactful solutions. Love our friends over at Keen. And my main guys, Chase and Clay Natuzel over at Raymond James. I was actually texting with those guys earlier. They're just absolute cyclone sickos wanting to know about the portal. It has been a busy couple of days. I hope you guys subscribe to our premium and also our Patreon pages for that. But remember, if you're looking ahead to New Year's resolutions, all that stuff, you need a financial advisor. Remember my guys, Clay and Chase Natuzel from Raymond James. All right, this thing's about ready to go at it from Iowa City. Interesting. Listen, I don't need to break this game down too much, right? You guys know the teams. I'm more interested in, the line, and it really hasn't moved. All the indications say that the majority of the money and bets are all on Iowa tonight, which is a little surprising to me, but the line has stayed pat. So probably a little smarter money is on Iowa State as far as that goes. We'll see. It's really hard telling with college basketball because there's just not a ton of volume put on these games on a night-to-night basis, especially on a random Thursday in December. But the matchup looks like this. I mean, where does Iowa State have an edge? It's the bigs, the presidents. I kind of like the law firm of Jackson and Jefferson, but the presidents, whatever we're going to call it, that's where Iowa State has a big advantage at tonight. But I'm more interested in how Iowa State plays defense against this Iowa team that can hit shots, right? Like, this is a classic Fran McCaffrey team. I'm watching Peyton Sanford shoot right now. He's hit 3 threes in a row just in warm-ups. I think he's a future NBA guy. He'll be at the end of an NBA bench for 5-6 years. I think he's good enough to do that. Didn't make it this year. He went and tested the waters, all that good stuff. But I guess the point is Dix can hit shots. Harding can hit some shots. They have a lot of guys who can hit shots. And if it's one of those nights, I think Bloom put the number at 12 Iowa threes that really concerned him tonight. If you're an Iowa State fan, that's a fair number. I like Iowa State's advantage down low against this Iowa team, but how does Iowa State? I'm assuming you just play one-on-one defense against these guys, right? I mean, you put Lipsy out there, you go Dix and Keyshawn. I think Heisey can go out there and get in the mug of Sanford pretty well. It's a good matchup for Iowa State. It's a bad matchup for Iowa, but this is a weird building. We've all been here before when we thought Iowa State was going to comfortably win a basketball game, and you go away really disappointed. So I think you're crazy if you come into this thing, Rob Gray, if you come into this thing too overconfident as an Iowa State fan. But I also think there's a reality where Iowa State's a really good team. And they've proven that over the first month or two, month and a half of the season. And, Iowa has been inconsistent. I thought they played probably their best game of the year when they lost at Michigan over the weekend. Not a great defensive game for Iowa, but nonetheless, good competition on the road. I was pretty impressed with what we saw from the Hawkeyes over the weekend. That win against Northwestern last week, not so much. Wasn't blown away. by that win with the Josh Dix buzzer beater at the end. I thought Iowa was, for the most part, outplayed by the Wildcats in that one. But again, if you stack these two teams up, pound for pound, Iowa State has a massive advantage as far as talent, size, speed, all that. But we all know better than that when it comes to this rivalry. Iowa State hasn't won here in 10 years. The games are genuine. They're usually blowouts one way or another. Is this Iowa State team an outlier because of how good we think it might be? That would be my question. So there's your overall analysis. I am looking around, and I think there's going to be a pretty good contingency of Iowa State fans here tonight. It's hard telling at this point because there's a ton of empty seats right now, and I know that's not going to be the case. They do serve booze here at Carver. I thought it was interesting. A lot of people just like standing around like the top like it's a sports bar. Just kind of hanging out here. The clock up top says 10:45 until we get this thing going. But listen, how's the game officiated? Iowa State plays a really rugged style, and last year Iowa State really pushed around this Iowa program in Hilton Coliseum. They really got up in their face early. But that doesn't always happen, right? Like officials can dictate if you can do that. That's always a deal with Iowa State. And will that be the case tonight? I expect Iowa to pack it in and really try and counteract Iowa State's bigs, the presidents down there. Can Iowa State hit a few shots early and loosen that up from the outside? Momcilovic, I believe, will have some opportunities specifically in the first half to really open this thing up for the Cyclones. Let's go ahead and take some questions here as people are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Again, the line right now, 5.5. That thing really hasn't budged much at all. Y'all don't got any questions. Everybody's just making comments. That's cool, too. I'm totally fine with that. I'm going to pick Iowa State to win this thing by 10. I'll stick with what I said earlier. It's hard for me to pick a blowout. I don't think 10's a blowout. I think that with this Iowa team, if you're up 7-8 points, they can fill it up in a hurry. And you just can't ever really count a team with that type of a firepower out. I think that, Michael or Jeremy asking me if Heisey will be on Samford quite a bit. I think so. I think that's the matchup, probably the best defensive matchup if you're Iowa State. But again, it's kind of dictated by what kind of a game is it, the Momcilovic-Heisey thing. It's always going to be that way this year, and that's what I think can make this Iowa State team considerably better because they have multiple matchup problems that can just roll out there to people. We've seen a Momcilovic game this year against Marquette. You had to bring in Heisey to do the dirty work down the stretch. Maybe that's the case tonight. Officials dictate a lot of that. You're on the road, first true road game of the year for Iowa State. Not really worried about how they respond, but it's just different. It's hard. It's a hard place to win, and this will be as animated as of a crowd Iowa will have. There'll be 2-3 games this year that they get this kind of a crowd, and one of them will be tonight. No, I don't believe Heisey will start. A couple of people asking me that. I don't believe that's the case. They won't mess with the starting. Well, I don't know that for sure, but I would guess. Is Lipsy getting more healthy? Iconic wants to know. I sure hope so. It can't really get worse. I don't know anything specific, but listen, I've said this before. I think Lipsy's always kind of just dinged up, and it's probably going to be him forever. He's just a little bit he's constantly been like this since he's been at Iowa State, where, shoulder, knee for a while. It doesn't really matter, I guess, when you know what you're going to get from Taman. Of course, you'd like to see him be better than he was in that Auburn game. But the good thing is he doesn't have to be your first or second scorer like he has in the past because there's enough guys around where Taman can kind of just be Taman, that gritty leader out there. As long as Iowa State can get that and what they need from him with on-ball defense on that side of the ball, I think Iowa State's in really good shape. All right, let's get out of here. This thing's about ready to start. I hope you all enjoy watching from home. I'm blessed to be here, but I really don't like making this drive. You just want me to be honest, right? Everybody was very nice coming into. Had a nice chat with an Iowa fan at the urinal. He was very kind. He listens to Iowa every day. That was very nice. I'll be back after the game, and hopefully everybody will be very, very enthusiastic. Thanks to Channel C for sponsoring. We'll be back with postgame coming up a couple of hours from now. Thanks to Aiden Wyatt for producing. We'll be back. Go Clones.